Hey everybody, Ryan here. Welcome to another grounded video. This one's going to cover all the update, but we're going to make sure that we don't spoil anything for you. We're going to cover the new smithing station, we're going to cover the mutations, we're going to cover milk molars, we're going to cover the new areas, but we're not going to go into too many details so you guys can experience it for yourself. So enjoy the video and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the future grounded videos here on the channel. Thanks for watching. Enjoy. Hey, what's up everybody? Like we said, we're going to be covering some of the new updates and everything that have come out with the new update, a lot of the changes and everything. It's basically a whole new game, which is why I advise you to just completely start fresh. It'll be a lot easier going through the progression. So let's get into it. So one of the first things we're going to talk about is the map and how much it's changed. So you can see over here, obviously the biggest thing is this west area of the map. The sandbox is completely done. The trash heap is the addition here. The picnic table has had a lot of new additions, and then the biggest thing right here is the haze area. So I'm going to try to do this with as little spoilers as possible, hopefully no spoilers, because I want you guys to all experience this for yourselves if you haven't watched any other people's videos about where to go and what to do and stuff like that. So basically 4 new complete biomes. Like I said here, there's a lot of stuff to explore in here, a lot of changes. The haze lab has gotten a huge update. There's a lot of new stuff over here, but I don't want to get too much into it. So biggest thing right there is just the map and how it's affected now with the haze. So without going too much into it, we'll leave it there. Next thing, let's get into the changes for your weapons and armor, okay? So we do have some new types of armor. You've got the roly-poly armor, the black ant armor, and the antlion armor. So you can see right here, the black ant armor.
That should keep me safe.
It's got some changes to it.
Fur.
So defense is similar to the ladybug armor. I think it's the same, about 3 bars there. But you look, you're still going to get the same kind of set bonuses right here. So set bonus for this one, pin cushion. Go to your OS here, and it'll cover set bonuses. So pin cushion reflects some damage back at attackers. So similar to the thorns buff that you can get, I think from one of the food items, we'll cover that. But you see the extra bonus right here, it gives you stun on each piece of armor. So when you're fighting enemies and stuff like that, they'll get stunned a lot easier. So if you are using a weapon that has stun added to it as well, then you'll be able to get stuns off a lot easier. Alright, so I don't have the roly-poly armor yet, so I'm not going to cover that.
I feel a little less.
But here we have our antlion armor with the poncho, the wide brim hat. You can see it all here. The set bonus quick draw. If you look at this one, faster reload speed while in combat. So if you're using arrows and everything, bow and arrow with the antlion armor on, you'll be able to get those shots off a lot quicker, which makes the crow crossbow really more effective. You can sit there and click and you'll get about 4 or 5 shots off before you even have to reload. So you basically just reload quicker, which is super useful. You can see these ones have Sizzle Protection. It's also classified as light armor. That's one of the changes in the armor. You have heavy, medium, and light. And if you look up here, it's going to tell you the differences. So light armor reduces the delay before stamina begins to regen, and then medium has no effect, and then heavy armor takes longer to build your stamina back up. So there's trade-offs. Obviously, the heavier armor is going to have better defense, and lighter armor is going to refill your stamina quicker. You look at this Sizzle Protection, right? So in one of the new areas, the sandbox, when you're out there during the day, you'll have a sizzle meter. And that thing's going to slowly fill up depending on what kind of protection you have against it. And once it fills up, you'll start taking damage from the heat. So something to watch out for. That's pretty much it for the armor. You can see they all still have their set bonuses and stuff like that. You're going to notice some changes with some of the armor, like the spider armor. You're not going to have your the quickness that you used to have.
That should keep me safe.
So you look over here, instead of that, now we have attack stamina. So when you're attacking, your stamina is going to go up quicker. Hunter's Prowess. Body recycles energy with the increased efficiency. So when you're using this armor, you're not going to be running around as quick, but as you're attacking, it's kind of more catered towards like quick attacks and being faster at attacking. So instead of speed while you're running around the map, it actually increases your attack speed, which is super useful.
Feeling a little safer now.
So that's basically it for armor. You can see my weapons here. We all have numbers next to them. You're probably wondering what that means, as well as the tools. So this is where we get into where we can upgrade our weapons and tools. And you can do that by this new item right here, the smithing station. So when we go into that, you're going to click on your item, press space. And you can see that at 0, or at level 0, it's going to have no damage here. But once you go to level 1, it's going to increase by 10% all the way up to level 5. So you can increase every weapon and tool up to level 5 just through quartzite, which makes quartzite a really valuable resource in the game now. So instead of just using it to repair items, you're actually going to use quartzite to level up your weapons. And once we get into that, you can see this one's at level 6. So what you can do is there's new candy pieces, as well as the mint shards. So they're not mint chunks anymore that you just got from the anthill and the mint box. You can find these pretty much everywhere. A lot of it you'll see in the sandbox, as well as the salt shards. So basically, every weapon can be imbued or upgraded to have a certain type of damage, because now each insect is either strong or weak against different kinds of damage, whether it be salty, minty, or spicy. And on the same note, they're also weak to different types of attacks. So if you have like slashing from swords, or cutting from daggers, or crushing from like the ant club and stuff like that, each different insect is going to be strong or weak against a different type of attack, a different type of weapon. So a lot of different customization when it comes to armor and weapons, which is really cool. And same thing when upgrading your tools. It's basically going to make the task of cutting down stems, or cutting down grass, or cracking rocks and everything, or digging stuff up, the grubs, or stuff in the sandbox. I'm not going to go into details, but it's going to make digging, cutting, and crushing things a lot easier. So that's for upgrades, and I want to go here. So we talked about the weapons being able to be upgraded, and you're going to see you have stabbing, cutting, crushing. Now, it doesn't tell you what kind of stuff it does, what kind of damage it does, but you can figure it out. So we've got different things there. But one of the things I want to get into in terms of the salt, mint, and spiciness is not only can you increase what kind of attack your weapons do, but you can also craft certain arrows too. Since you can't upgrade the bow to have a special attack like salt, minty, or spicy, you can actually craft these different arrows. So they're all going to take feather arrows and then the additional shards. And that way when you're attacking an enemy that's weak to a certain type, whether it be salt, mint, or spicy, then you can use range damage in that way too. So a lot of new resources in the game, and one thing we're going to talk about is resource management, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. So you've got gum now, which can be used for one of the major things in the games. Again, no spoilers, but also when it comes to smoothies. So we go to our smoothie station over here. You can see that now we have 3 different base options. You've got your regular, which is the base, the grub goop, and then your gum, which you can use as a base now, which will make it sticky, give it a sticky effect, which actually makes it last longer. And then we still have the muscle sprouts, which gives you a bigger health bonus. So you can still use your fiber bandages, but when you're going to use the smoothies for whatever kind of buff that you want, it's going to give you a larger health bonus when you use it too. So with the gum, the effects are going to last longer. I don't know what the time limit is on it, but that's something that's definitely improved upon in terms of smoothies. So this way you're going to be carrying smoothies around a lot when you use them. So if you go look at them, they basically all still have the same effects. So hyper stamina, gas guard, max stamina, max health, fuller, moist, swim speed, hauling strength, liquid rage, and your damage resist from the human food. So a lot of the resources for those are still the same. I don't think anything has changed. So again, basically any kind of resource you get, it's going to come to resource management on what you're going to be using. Go back to the resources and just cover some of these newer ones. Obviously, you're going to have the red ant eggs still, but also the black ants are going to have black ant eggs. Something to look out for. The quartzite shards, obviously, are going to be huge going forward. If you get down here to some of the other stuff. The fungal growth now, you can get a lot more because in the haze, you're going to notice that you can get fungal growth not just from the infected enemies, which now you have infected mites, weevils, gnats, ladybugs, and the biggest pain is going to be the infected larvae that you're going to get come across. Those guys are everywhere, and they're a lot stronger, obviously. It's like these insects, when they're infected, it's like it ups their attack and their health as well. But there's other places that you can get these fungal growths as well, and you can see what they're used for in here. So brat bursts, We get into that. Explosives. In one of my videos, I covered that. A lot of the areas that you've been to and a lot of the areas you're going to need to get into, you're going to require some brat bursts. So just something to look out for too. Let's keep going here. So you have your black ant parts, same thing. The parts, the heads, and the mandibles. I want to cover crow feathers, just touch on it real quick. So the crow feathers has been a hot topic lately, especially when the Shroom and Doom update, when you can start building mushroom castles and stuff like that and using crow feathers to build roofs. The crow feather pieces drop, it seems like, a lot more now, just from my time with the public test server. You see crow feathers all the time, and not just the little ones that give you one piece. You'll find the bigger feathers too, and a lot in one location. So just be on the lookout for those. You should be able to get quite a bit of crow feathers in a short amount of time. So have your ever coal chunk. I can never say that. But here's your salt shards. So obviously using salt arrows, your antlion parts, your roly-poly parts. What else we got? Mint shard, which replaces the mint chunks. And this is the mint glob. So these are what you're going to use. You can see it requires the oven here to create items that you can put on your weapons to give them that power, whether it be salty, minty, or spicy. Same thing with the spicy shard here. And then we already covered the mint shard. So go over to our oven, and we're going to notice some changes to this as well. So like it says here, these are the upgrades. So to create a quartzite glob, you're going to need 10 quartzite, which doesn't seem like much, but quartzite's going to become a huge commodity. Like I keep saying, I can't overstate that fact. And there's a lot of places that you can still get it. The Spade Gulch Cave, there's the quartzite down in there. The Mite Cave, right when you start the game, where you have to go investigate the laser, the quartzite in there. Under the Oak Tree Lab, the Ant Hill, and other places now. And these, like I said, you'll find these a lot more, basically everywhere. But the spicy globs you won't really see until you get over to the sandbox area, which is going to lead us here into the new thing that they've added to the game. So instead of snacks just like jerky, and instead of your basic roasts like aphid and weevil roasts and gnat roasts and stuff, now we have actual full meals, which actually last a lot longer. So I will tell you though that these do still spoil, and it's gonna suck if you're not using these. So be careful with how much you're bringing out, depending on the situation, what you're going out to do, because they still will spoil on you. But as you can see, they also give you well fed. So the jerky before, and I think they've changed it because I played recently, but when I first started, the jerky gave you a very small increase in your hunger, and it depleted your thirst a lot more. But it seems like they've changed the jerky back to the normal way, to where it still provided you, I would say, maybe an eighth of your hunger, with reducing about an eighth of your thirst. These meals right here are going to give you a huge boost to your hunger. But you can also see that we have status bonuses too. So these are going to increase your attack stamina, fall defense, you know, critical hit chance, and I think there's some that provide other things like thorns and stuff like that. So really useful things there. Alright, is there anything else here to cover? I don't think there is. We're going to go talk to Burgle and get into that. Oh, we can talk about mutations. So there's 4 new mutations here in the game as well. So a lot of your other ones have been upgraded or fixed. You can see Natural Explorer now, we can get at least 2 of 3. I'm not sure if you can get that to 3 of 3. Coup de Grace now has 2 phases. But we also have Parry Master, which is a new one. Blade Master. Then we have this one, Truffle Tussle, which you'll get. You don't have to buy that one. But this one's going to allow you to do some kind of different damage with your hand-to-hand combat. Like I said, I'm not going to go into details with it, but it's an interesting mutation. You still got your other ones here, but Fresh Defense, you can see gas and burn, but it also adds Sizzle Protection here. This is the other new one, Spicy Safety. So you can see here it adds a boost to smashing attacks from insects and stabbing attacks from insects. So if you're fighting mosquitoes or bees, you have this on, it's going to increase your defense against those kind of attacks. So we're up to 26 total mutations now. A lot of them, like I said, are similar, but you can see we also have some additions to like Grassmaster and Rock Cracker, but energized. So this is basically you're gonna be able to harvest faster, and your stamina is gonna reduce a lot slower when you have this activated. So we have Sharpshooter still with phase 3. You're gonna have Javelineer. You're gonna have Little Fist. You're gonna have your knife and spear attacks. Well, that's Javelineer. But so the mutations you can see all over here too. Like I said, with some of the armor, Sizzle Protection, Max Stamina, Quickness, Stamina, max health, and stuff like that. So let's head over to Burgle and talk to him and just kind of go over the even more in-depth character customization that you can get to. So we'll see you in a second. All right, so now we're over here at Burgle. Let's cover some of the other ways that you can upgrade, and you can see right here, pump me up with some milk molars. So this is going to be your character customization, basically. You're going to find these milk molars. They just look like giant teeth. They're going to require the tier 2 hammer to break through. But you can see you can upgrade your max health, max stamina, your thirst burn rate, hunger rate, and your max active mutations. So one of the changes with the mutations is you can actually carry up to 5 now once you max this out. So you're only going to start with a basic 2 mutations rather than the 3 that you had previously, and you're going to have to use milk molars to upgrade the amount of mutations you can have active at one time. So it's pretty cool. I do believe there are enough milk molars to upgrade everything fully. So it's just going to be, once you get to that point, as you're progressing through in your character customization, which ones do you want to use first. And as far as I know now, you can't, there's no way to cancel this and start from the beginning with all your milk molars. So once you put these in place, they're going to stay that way for the entirety of your game until you start a new one. So this one's just for you solo. Every time you play into your own game, these are going to apply to you only. And then it comes to the Mega Milk Molars. Now these are going to be similar to the ones Milk Molars. They're going to look like giant teeth. These ones are gold in color though. And what these are going to do, so if you're playing in a group on your own game, basically anybody that comes into that game with you is also going to benefit from these effects. So you can increase your max consumable stack size, resource stack size, and your arrow stack size. Now this is one of the things I talked about when we got into resource management, is you're only going to be able to carry a limited number of items now per stack. And the way to increase that is by getting these Mega Milk Molars. So I think the base resource stack size and everything is going to be 8. So you're going to definitely have to go out and search for these Mega Milk Molars, and they're pretty much everywhere in the map. Places that you've been if you haven't started over, and places that you haven't been when you are starting over. So basically just something to keep your eyes peeled. Look out for giant white teeth and giant gold teeth to increase that. Alright, so one last thing I want to go over, and we're going to head over to a field station to talk about that. So we'll see you guys back in a second again. Alright, so now we're over here at a field station. Let's go over one of the big additions to this, one of the big changes here. You're going to see this brain power, level 12. This is the max level right now, so it's going to cap out at 1220. So instead of unlocking recipes when you find items and analyze them, what you have to do now, everything is grouped together in certain levels. So you go from level 1 all the way up to level 12, and it's really going to help along the progression if you're starting over, or if you're a new player and haven't played yet. This whole way of progressing through the game makes it a lot more user-friendly in terms of finding what you need to get to another location or get to another lab. So you see here, level 1, each piece you analyze is going to have a different color to it. You'll see a little color here in the top right, whether it be red, blue, or purple. And that's going to be the rarity of the item. So something like Pebblet or something, that's going to be red. So it's going to be a common item. So it'll list it in common, uncommon, and rare, red, blue, and purple. So when you're unlocking these, when you analyze these, you're going to get different amounts of raw science. I think it's like 30 for the common, 50 for the uncommon, and then I think 60 or 75, something like that in terms of raw science. And that's also going to apply to the brain power. So the brain power, once you analyze these, a common is going to be 15, and uncommon is 30, and then I think a rare is 50. So each time you analyze something, it's going to give you more brain power. And every time you level up, you're going to unlock different items. So instead of just finding the item and analyzing it and hoping that it gives you that recipe, you can unlock it a different way. So if you're trying to get, you know, a crow crossbow or a spider fang dagger or something like that, you don't have to go kill a wolf spider to get those ingredients and then analyze them. You can do it just by analyzing other items and unlocking the certain levels. So you see level 1 right here, level 2 right here, 3, and then so on. So this is the way it really helps the player progress through the game a lot easier, rather than just trying to go find an item and analyze it. Obviously it's going to go from tier 1 all the way up to tier 3. These higher levels are obviously going to be your newer in-game content. So a lot of stuff to uncover with this new update. On top of all that, they've seemed to update the graphics quite a bit. It's a lot smoother looking. Everything's a lot easier on the eyes in terms of playing. And also, I think they've made some additions to photo mode, so when you guys are sitting there taking your pictures and everything, everything's done a lot cleaner and easier. So that's all we've got for some of the things you guys need to know for the new update. Let me know if there's anything that I missed that you guys realize, or if there's anything else you guys need to know. We're going to be doing this. I've already got my grounded replay. I'll link comments. And also, we're going to get into doing your tutorials, like how to fight certain insects, or how to do certain things, or how to find certain things. So keep an eye out, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of those future grounded videos that we'll be doing here on the channel. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will see all you guys in the next video. Later.